In Los Angeles, where beauty often masks betrayal and love is both salvation and poison, the next 2 weeks on The Bold and the Beautiful will plunge every family into chaos once more. From November 10th to November 21st, the world of the Forrestus, Spencers, and Logans will shimmer with glamour on the surface, while beneath it, emotions burn like acid through silk. What begins as a calm after months of turbulence will twist into a storm of temptation, jealousy, and moral reckoning. Bill Spencer, as ever, begins at the center of control. The man whose name once stood for power now finds himself obsessed with cleansing the residue of guilt that clings to his family. The beach house that once symbolized freedom for his son, Will, has become tainted ground, a place where Luna Nozawa's sins and suffering still echo in the walls. The newspapers may have moved on, but Bill has not. He hires Rachel, the eccentric energy healer whose unconventional methods promise to purify toxic spaces. Her charm and mysticism are both comic relief and something darker, a reflection of Bill's own desperate attempt to exorcise the ghosts of his mistakes. He doesn't just want to cleanse the house. He wants to cleanse himself, though he would never admit that aloud. Will, unaware of the symbolic weight of his father's plan, simply wants to move forward. His relationship with Electra Forrester has brought him an unexpected calm. She is everything Luna was not, grounded, forgiving, and capable of seeing the wounded boy beneath the confident Spencer charm. When Electra agrees to move in with him, it feels like a victory against the past, a step toward normalcy. But as is always the case in this family, peace is fragile and fleeting. Bill, still haunted by the chaos Luna caused, asks Electra to help with the cleansing before she settles in. His tone is gentle, but his words carry the subtle weight of control. To Bill, Electra's presence in the home isn't just about Will's happiness, it's about rewriting the family's image. The day Rachel arrives with her bundles of crystals and chants of purification, Electra watches Bill closely. For all his talk of energy and renewal, his eyes still flicker with guilt, as though he expects the house itself to accuse him. The ritual feels absurd, sage smoke curling into the air, whispered invocations about, releasing dark vibrations. Yet, by the end of it, something in the atmosphere shifts. Bill exhales, as though the air itself has loosened around him. Will smiles for the first time in days, pulling Electra close, promising that this new beginning will erase the old scars. But in the dim corners of that beach house, something unseen still lingers, not a ghost, but a shadow of obsession waiting to be reborn. Because somewhere far from the ocean breeze and the glow of candlelight, Luna Nozawa is still alive, still fighting, and still dangerous. Behind the cold gray bars of her cell, she refuses to fade into the background of other people's lives. Her beauty has dulled under prison lights, but her mind has grown sharper. Calculating, unrelenting. To survive, Luna has learned the art of manipulation, and her newest target is a prison guard named Stoll. At first, she plays the role of the broken woman, quiet, compliant, grateful for small acts of kindness. Stoll, like many before him, mistakes vulnerability for trust. He gives her longer breaks, better meals, small freedoms that grow bolder with each passing week. And then one night, when he mentions he's scrolling through social media, Luna strikes. She leans in, feigning curiosity, asking innocent questions until Stoll, desperate to impress her, shows her his phone. In an instant, her mask slips. There it is, Will Spencer's latest post. A photo of him and Electra, smiling in front of the beach house, tagged with new digs. The image hits Luna like a blade. That house, that man, that life she once imagined for herself, stolen. She stares at the screen so long that Stoll grows uncomfortable. He doesn't understand the fury that blooms behind her calm expression. But inside Luna, something has shifted. Her grief hardens into rage, her despair transforms into resolve. She decides that she will not rot in this cell while others live her life. She will find a way out, and when she does, Los Angeles will remember the name Luna Nozawa again, not as a victim, but as vengeance incarnate. Meanwhile, across town at Il Giardino, Sheila Carter, now Sheila Sharp, is living her latest reinvention. To the casual observer, she appears changed, softer, grateful, eager to please. She beams with delight when Taylor Hayes pays her a visit, all smiles and gratitude, as though the past has been erased. But beneath the surface, Sheila remains what she has always been, a woman who reads every heartbeat in the room and calculates how to turn it to her advantage. She thanks Taylor for coming, lavishes her with compliments, and watches closely as Deacon Sharp approaches. Deacon's arrival always shifts the atmosphere. He is both her anchor and her weakness, a man who believes in her redemption even when no one else does. As the evening unfolds, Sheila's intuition catches something, a glance between Deacon and Taylor that lingers too long, a warmth in their voices that wasn't there before. She laughs it off, masking the flicker of jealousy behind an exaggerated smile, but the tension hangs heavy. When Sheila excuses herself to the kitchen, Deacon and Taylor find themselves alone, the clinking of glasses fading into silence. Neither planned this. Neither wanted to feel the pull that has been growing between them. But emotions, once awakened, do not ask for permission. They talk about guilt and change, about how hard it is to escape the versions of themselves the world insists they must be. Taylor, always the therapist, finds solace in Deacon's raw honesty. He listens, really listens in a way few men ever have. The conversation slows, the distance between them closes, and then there is music, faint, unplanned, drifting from the restaurant speakers. Deacon offers his hand. Taylor hesitates, but then she smiles, and they begin to dance. Whether it's real or imagined hardly matters. In that moment, they are two lost souls finding warmth in each other's shadows. The chemistry is undeniable, the danger inevitable. Later, Hope Logan speaks to Steffi Forrester Finnegan at Forrester Creations, unaware of the emotional powder keg forming just outside their world. Hope is radiant, happy to see her father thriving. She tells Steffi that Deacon's therapy sessions with Taylor have done wonders for him. He's calmer, more focused, finally finding peace. Her tone is pure, her words heartfelt, but Steffi feels a strange unease. At first, she brushes it off as overprotectiveness toward her mother. But when Hope mentions how connected Deacon and Taylor seem, the air between them tightens. Steffi doesn't want to believe it. Her mother, drawn to Deacon Sharp? It sounds absurd. Yet the thought lodges itself deep in her mind. Taylor's loneliness, Deacon's charm, the way they both hover on the edges of redemption, it all fits too well. Steffi tries to push the suspicion away, but it follows her like a whisper she can't silence. While emotional storms brew within the Forrestes, the Spencers continue their own quiet war. As Will and Electra's relationship deepens, Bill observes from a distance, both proud and protective. Yet his desire to control every detail of his son's life begins to suffocate those around him. Electra senses it first, the way Bill's kindness hides surveillance, the way his questions feel less like curiosity and more like interrogation. She starts to wonder whether she's moved into a home or a gilded cage. At the same time, Luna's manipulation of Stoll escalates. The guard, now emotionally entangled, begins smuggling her information, schedules, maps, even security patterns. Luna's plan is not impulsive, it's methodical. She knows she cannot fight the system with brute force, but she can make it collapse from within. Every word she speaks to Stoll is a calculated step toward freedom. The more she learns about the outside world, the clearer her vision becomes. She will not only escape, she will reclaim everything that was taken from her. In the week of November 17th to 21st, romance takes center stage. Though in the bold and the beautiful, love is never separate from chaos. Carter Walton, ever the idealist, finds himself falling deeper for Daphne Rose. But Daphne, scarred by betrayal, hesitates to believe in happy endings. She fears being another rebound, another stepping stone in a man's journey toward self-discovery. Carter, determined to prove his sincerity, fights for her heart not with grand gestures, but with patience, a rare virtue in this world of impulsive passion. Their story offers a rare breath of tenderness amid the turbulence, but even their love will be tested by secrets waiting to surface. Meanwhile, preparations for Hope and Liam Spencer's wedding move forward, but not without tension. Beth Spencer remains adamant that Sheila will not attend. Her reasoning is simple: danger follows Sheila like a curse. Deacon, however, insists that Sheila has changed, that she deserves a chance to be included. His plea is heartfelt, but it only isolates him further from his daughter. The conflict draws a line between love and loyalty, forcing Deacon to choose between the woman who saved him and the daughter who defines him. Sheila, hearing that she's banned from the ceremony, feels the old rage stir inside her. Her gratitude evaporates, replaced by something darker: the return of the persona she has spent months trying to bury. Back at the Forrester mansion, Brooke and Ridge are finally enjoying what appears to be domestic peace. They are newly remarried, content, and cautiously optimistic about the future. But when word reaches them about Taylor's growing closeness with Deacon, that peace begins to crumble. Ridge feels a flash of anger, not only toward Deacon but toward himself, for caring, for still feeling protective over a woman he claims to have moved past. Brooke, meanwhile, is torn between jealousy and pity. She wants to believe Taylor deserves happiness, but not with her ex-lover. By the final days of this 2-week storm, every thread of connection begins to tighten into a noose. Bill's attempt to cleanse his family's home has only masked deeper moral decay. Luna's manipulation inches closer to a full-blown escape plan, promising danger that could ripple across Los Angeles. Deacon finds himself cornered between two women, one who offers redemption, the other destruction. Taylor teeters between professionalism and desire, knowing that one misstep could destroy both her reputation and her peace. Steffi's growing suspicion threatens to reignite the old Forrester-Logan tensions, while Ridge and Brooke's fragile union braces for another fracture. And in the quiet heart of it all stands Sheila, smiling, watching, waiting. She has seen this cycle before. Love turns to envy, envy to rage, rage to ruin. The others may believe they are moving the pieces, but Sheila knows the truth. In Los Angeles, every redemption is temporary, and every sin eventually resurfaces. As November closes, the city glitters brighter than ever, not with light, but with the reflection of all the beautiful lies its people tell just to survive. In the glamorous, emotionally charged world of the bold and the beautiful, few characters embody both power and vulnerability the way Steffi Forrester does. She is the daughter of privilege, born into a dynasty built on fabric and desire, yet her story has always transcended the glossy surfaces of couture. To love Steffi is to enter a storm, a whirl of ambition, loyalty, and passion that devours the faint-hearted. Over the years, she has been adored, betrayed, and reborn through a series of men who each saw in her something different: a muse, a rival, a savior, a reflection of their own fractured selves. Yet beneath all the noise, one question has persisted in the minds of fans and critics alike. Among all her lovers, who truly captured Steffi's heart, not her body, not her loyalty, but her very soul? There was Liam Spencer, her most enduring paradox, the man who made her feel everything and nothing at once. Their love was both a comfort and a curse, the kind of connection that thrived on conflict. Liam was the boy who believed he could tame her, who thought stability could be imposed upon a woman born to chaos. And for a while it worked. Together they burned with the intensity of two people who wanted to be better than their parents, but couldn't escape becoming them. To the outside world, Steam, as fans dubbed them, was destiny. Their chemistry was undeniable, their story written across decades of longing and betrayal. But destiny has a cruel sense of irony. Liam's indecision, his endless waltz between Hope and Steffi, became the slow poison that corroded their bond. He loved her fiercely, but never entirely. She loved him completely, but never safely. In the end, their love story was less a romance and more a beautiful tragedy, two hearts perfectly matched but fatally timed. Then came Finn, the antidote to everything Liam wasn't. Calm where Liam was restless, certain where Liam wavered, Finn represented the promise of peace. He saw Steffi not as a conquest, but as a person. To him, she wasn't the tempestuous heiress or the scandal-prone CEO, but a woman worthy of quiet devotion. Their connection was unlike anything she had known. For once, Steffi didn't have to fight for love. It was given freely. Finn adored her with the patience of a healer and the loyalty of a believer. When he entered her life, the storm began to still. Yet peace for Steffi was never simple. Her heart, conditioned by years of chaos, sometimes mistook calm for distance. She loved Finn deeply, but part of her feared the stillness he offered. Feared that without conflict, without fire, she would lose herself. Still, there was something undeniably transcendent about what they shared. In Finn's arms, she saw a future untethered from family feuds and old wounds. He became her sanctuary, her proof that even those born into dysfunction could find redemption. But peace, in the world of the bold and the beautiful, rarely lasts. External forces, secrets, manipulations, betrayals, crept in to test their bond. And when tragedy struck, when bullets and lies threatened to end what they had built, Steffi discovered that love, even pure love, is never immune to pain. Yet of all her romances, this one came closest to salvation. Finn was not her mirror, nor her rival, but her balance, the man who steadied her heart even as the world fell apart. Before Finn, there had been others, fleeting but unforgettable. Bill Spencer, for one, left a mark no one else could. Their affair was the stuff of controversy, igniting a firestorm within the Forrester and Spencer empires. To many, it was unthinkable. The ruthless mogul and the vibrant heiress, drawn together by a mix of lust and mutual recognition. Bill didn't love Steffi the way Finn did, not with gentleness, but with hunger. He admired her power, her fearlessness, her refusal to bow to anyone. In her, he saw the reflection of his own ambition, the same relentless will to dominate. Their connection was electric, dangerous, the kind that thrived in the shadows. For a time, Steffi let herself drown in that darkness, intoxicated by the thrill of being wanted not as a daughter or an ex-wife, but as an equal. Their relationship was built on adrenaline and rebellion, a mutual understanding that neither of them fit neatly into the boxes others tried to build for them. But while Bill's obsession made her feel alive, it also made her feel trapped. He loved her as he loved everything, possessively, controlling the narrative even as he claimed to set her free. When their affair ended, it was not with hatred, but with exhaustion. Bill would move on to other conquests, but Steffi would carry the memory of their fire like a scar, a reminder that sometimes passion burns brighter than it should, leaving nothing but ash. And then there was Owen, a brief chapter, but an important one. Owen Knight was never meant to be a forever story. He was a mirror Steffi needed at a time when she was lost between who she was and who she wanted to become. He saw her before the world had shaped her into a symbol of Forrester power. Their connection was easy, unburdened by the weight of family legacy or corporate politics. For a while, Owen gave her the illusion of simplicity, a glimpse into what life could be without manipulation or expectation. But illusions, like silk, are delicate. Steffi knew that as much as she cherished their time together, she was destined for something bigger, something more tumultuous. Owen loved her softly, but Steffi was never meant for softness. Her true love stories have always been written in contrasts, light and shadow, tenderness and destruction. That's why the debate over who truly captured her heart continues to divide fans even now. Each man brought out a different version of Steffi, revealing pieces of her identity that even she didn't understand. With Liam, she was the fighter, defiant, passionate, unyielding. With Finn, she was the survivor, vulnerable yet hopeful. With Bill, she was the equal, bold, daring, intoxicated by power. And with Owen, she was the dreamer, a woman briefly allowed to imagine a life without legacy. Yet beneath all these love stories lies a deeper truth. Steffi's greatest romance has always been with herself, the ongoing battle between the woman she is and the woman she's expected to be. Raised under the shadow of her family's empire, she learned early that love in her world was never unconditional. Every relationship came with a price: status, loyalty, image. Every heartbreak taught her resilience, but also cynicism. She became the kind of woman who could fall apart and rebuild herself in the same breath. And that, perhaps, is why so many men fell for her. She wasn't perfect, she was real. The fans' endless arguments on social media reflect this complexity. Some argue passionately that Finn is her true soulmate, the man who finally gave her peace after years of pain. They see in him the redemption arc Steffi deserves, a relationship free from betrayal and emotional warfare. Others remain loyal to the legacy of Steam, insisting that no matter how toxic it became, Liam and Steffi shared something raw and unforgettable, a love born not of perfection, but of history. And then there are those who champion the wild card romances, Bill and Steffi, a pairing that broke every rule and yet made a strange kind of sense. They remember their shared moments of danger, their whispered confessions over cigars and stolen kisses, their mutual understanding of ambition's lonely price. Still, there's an unspoken truth beneath all these debates. Steffi's heart doesn't belong to one man. It belongs to moments, to the pieces of herself she gave and took back along the way. The love she shared with each of them was real, but different. Finn's love healed her. Liam's love defined her. Bill's love empowered her. Owen's love reminded her she could be gentle. Together, they formed the mosaic of her life, messy, beautiful, and utterly human. But what comes next for Steffi Forrester? In the current chapter of The Bold and the Beautiful, she stands at another crossroads. The ghosts of her past still linger. Liam's guilt, Bill's hunger for control, Finn's quiet fear that she might one day drift away. Steffi, ever torn between passion and reason, faces the hardest truth of all: love, for her, is not about choosing the right man but about choosing the right version of herself. She has lived too long in the reflection of others' desires. Now she must learn to live in her own. In the coming episodes, whispers suggest she may be drawn back into familiar temptation, perhaps a rekindled spark with an old flame, or a new player who sees through the armor she's built. Yet this time, the dynamic feels different. Steffi has evolved. She's no longer the impulsive woman defined by the men who love her. She's the woman who defines the terms of love itself. Her story is shifting from survival to self-discovery, from needing love to understanding it. The world of the bold and the beautiful thrives on cycles: betrayal, redemption, passion, forgiveness. But within those cycles, certain truths endure. Steffi's journey, more than any other character's, reflects the modern woman's struggle. The balance between strength and vulnerability, independence and intimacy, ambition and peace.